I'd like to pick up where we left off a little bit on lumber prices. What I'm hearing back home from people is, they were going to build a house. They started building a house, and now the costs have gone up exponentially. And Mr. Schennebeck, you touched on this in your opening testimony. I guess the question is, these prices are high. The producers are not getting paid more. The haulers are not getting paid more. They did get some relief from PPP, and that's good. The big box lumber stores, are charging these high prices. The question I guess would have is who's getting rich off these high lumber prices?
Well, sorry. Being a lumber producer, we are a commodity, and the prices of lumber go up and down. I will tell you, our highest weekly average price was $1,200. We are now, I am seeing $350 to $450 average price. So it has corrected. And I believe we submitted a chart showing kind of lumber prices over the last 5 or so years. And you can see the anomaly that happened in 2020 and 2021 due to the demand created by the pandemic. So demand just outpaced supply, and the prices went up in response.
But somebody was making some money somewhere, whether it's Georgia Pacific, Sierra Pacific, these companies, their stock has gone up. We saw a similar phenomenon in the beef industry. The producers couldn't sell their cattle. The packers were shut down due to COVID, but the prices we're paying in the grocery store are high. People are asking, who's making money? Is it the grocery stores? Is it the big producers? Somewhere in both these industries, it seems like down the chain, people were getting paid by the taxpayer COVID relief, but somebody is making money somewhere. And I don't believe it's the producers. I don't believe it's the haulers, but I do think there's big companies in there that, almost seems to be like price gouging we see sometimes with gasoline. Do any of you feel that that's the case?
It's a commodity market. It goes up and it goes down. So that we've lived with this. I've been in this industry for 23 years. In 2009, I was selling lumber for under $200 per thousand and losing money every day. So it's a supply and demand industry. Our country's not real used to commodity markets and the volatility they can create. But what happened was just extreme demand. Also due to depressed housing, we lost so many mills through the Great Recession, and then housing starts have been depressed for over 10 years. So we just had an undersupply of housing on top of this. So
okay, projecting though it's going to take 2 or 3 years to normalize. You say they've already come down tremendously, but a lot of prognosticators are disagreeing with that. But let me move on. And this one, I guess, is for anyone who wants to answer it. We've heard some talk recently of potential changes to inheritance tax, including a recent proposal from the administration discussing the possibility of eliminating the step up in basis that allows families to leave certain assets to their heirs and reduces their capital gains liability. Would anyone here be able to discuss what this would look like for the timber industry?
I can tell you what it would look like for a family business. We're fourth generation, and I am actively trying to get this business into the fifth generation, but it takes planning on day one. The minute you have a child, you have to start planning and start gifting, because we're not cash rich. We're not a cash rich industry. We are an equipment rich industry. We have to invest a lot of money into our businesses. And so when someone passes away, you have to have a lot of life insurance, or you have to have gotten it out of your estate to maintain the business.
Let's just touch briefly on labor issues as well. Most industries, restaurants, service industries, cannot get people back to work. There's 9 million available jobs out there. How is this impacting this industry in terms of being able to get people who were laid off due to COVID back on the job?
Well, in the states we operate in, the unemployment assistance has ended. I think the last, Florida ended it at the end of June, and Alabama and Mississippi were a little bit earlier. We're starting to see people come back into the market looking for jobs. It was very tough through the last few months getting employees into the workforce. So with the reduction of that, we are seeing more people come into the work.
So the take home there is that if we end these additional benefits that we've been seeing around the country, then we're going to see people go back into the workforce. But as long as states continue to provide the extra $300 per week, we're going to continue to have the problem. And Madam Chair, I went over too. I'm sorry. I yield back.